Take the mic.
Well, I called I was very happy today because I met people who came all the way from different parts of Ireland, from Cork to Galway and even north, and I came up from Killarney myself, others from Kilkenny. And it shows that in the Irish people there's still a great respect for and yearning for the freedom which our forefathers won for us and which has been almost squandered away by the present crowd of traitors. And it's why remembering what the 21st of January really means in Ireland is terribly important. And if we're few in numbers, it's like Terence McSweeney said, if we're few in numbers, we should be all the more resilient for that. Because you are the people who carry the gospel to a new generation that we're not really a partitioned country. In fact, we are what they call de facto, but de jure, which is morality and law and international law. The people of Ireland who voted for a 32-county free and neutral Ireland, because that was in one of the programmes that the Mansion House passed way back in 1990, and their address to the nations of the world that we would be open to mankind everywhere, but we wouldn't be joining alliances to put mankind of any race, creed or religion down anywhere in the world. That was the implications of it. So much has been lost, so much has been suppressed. Now it's up to us, each and every one of us, to try and resurrect the truth. Is that in moral law and international law, the people of Ireland's election and the establishment of the Republic still lives, even though it doesn't have effective power. Well, you have the moral right. And next year I want to see, if I'm alive myself, as many people back outside the Mansion House again, but this time there should be no hesitation whatsoever. It's your house. It's where the Irish Republic was proclaimed after, it was proclaimed outside the GPO, but it was ratified there at the Mansion House. It's a sacred spot for every Irish person. Be there next year, bring other people with you, and let the authorities, we should have thousands, 5,000, 10,000, the bigger the crowd the better, because if the present partitionist governments and the EU diktats from Brussels everywhere in Berlin get their way, all memory that we are an independent, in law, free Ireland will be wiped from the history books. And remember one thing, and Jack Lane said it this year at the Kilmichael commemoration in Cork, where the greatest defeat of the British Army took place in the Black and Tan War, or rather it was a war in defence of the Republic. That, they keep telling us, and John Bruton to his shame, keep saying that 1916 was wrong, it was a criminal conspiracy, everything followed was terrible, and that there was no mandates. First of all, you cannot look for a mandate for a rising. Imagine going to people and saying, we decided before we're going to have a rising. It can't be done, but it is vindicated. And it's actually mandated by the occasion on why you rise against injustice. The facts of the matter are this, believe it or not, the British government in that period was not a lawful legal government because they'd extended their 5-year term. Nobody, the Irish party that sent tens of thousands of Irishmen out to be slaughtered for empire gains in Europe and out in the Middle East and in Turkey, they were killing nationalities everywhere that never did any wrong to Ireland. None of those had mandates. The only people, party involvement, the whole period from 1916 to 1919, the election actually in December of 1918, there was no lawful government except the Irish Republic voted in and given a mandate in 1919. They're facts. Go to Jack Lane's website and check it. So it's time to stop the nonsense. Now I just finished. One thing I mention every year here, I always come back to one document we didn't read today, it's the Democratic Programme of 1919, which was voted in law and remains law, though it's not in effect. What do the citizens of the Republic, what are they entitled to? What is this the democratic rights to have? Read them. Get them wherever you can, but they must be disseminated widely in the year to come and the year after that. But one very key point in it says that the natural resources of the nation belong to the citizens, to the people. They do not belong to Shell, they do not belong to the EU to rip our fish, they do not belong to anyone but you standing here. And instead of us going down on our hands and knees to the world bankers for a few bob to relieve a false austerity, we should be per capita the richest nation on the face of the earth with the wealth of our seas, our fish, and our mineral deposits, our oil and our gas. Let's take facts. We could actually be one of the nations in the world going out helping to resolve conflict. We could have so much money that we could disperse from in other countries. Instead of that, one of the proudest nations that we should be on the face of the earth are grovelling around in the dirt. And I say, as far as I'm concerned, so it's up to you to speak for yourselves. In June coming, they reckon that the first gas will be processed above in Balnaboy and put into the pipelines. But we, the people of Ireland, who own that, because it was elected government of yours that declared it in 1919, we are going to have to buy back from multinationals who pay damn all for it. We're going to have to buy our own gas that we own at world prices. Far better that no gas is extracted until we resume ownership of our resources, and then we deal properly. Finally, we say the deck of the rosary every year, and it's only right we should, because there's a spiritual side to man and woman, as well as the material and a physical side. But there's also people who may not necessarily identify with say, the rosary, but everyone that's here today has a spiritualness in them, or they wouldn't be here. So I'd just like to add to it that in your own way, if we have just 1 minute of silence for the dead of Ireland, whether they were victims of the famine, children, women, men, or whether their heads were looped off by Cromwellian soldiers, or died out in Barbados, or as sent as slaves. To just for 1 minute remember them all in whatever way, whether we admire nature, the environment, the sun which gives us life, the water which we must sustain. Thank God at least people are fighting for that. But in your own way, for 1 moment, in your own spiritual way, just think of all those who suffered and died so much in Ireland. Good in the morning. Thank you.